my presentation and I'm doing interior design. Now, what initial impressions do you have on interior design? Most of it, it's going to be like very like elegant looking places that could be ranging from like very cozy indoor places for your housing or very rustic vibes depending on what you want. And usually you see these in shows like Flip or Flap, Fixer Upper, or Property Brothers. It's just a few of the shows like I started watching that interested me. But it's a little bit more than that too, because there's also specialized versions that we will be further talking about. But most of it is what it lives up to its name. So what exactly is the job? Now, typically, when you are doing interior design, you are constructing indoor spaces that like helps you navigate around the room and makes the client feel happy and helps like basically essentially what you want is to have it safely oriented where electrical appliances and furniture have a nice balance and you have a creative design along with it. And this also consists of planning and designing based on the client's needs and budgets. So if someone is like more rich and can afford to have a bigger like space area and can afford like more exotic furniture or something, and then you basically you can build rooms ranging from housing to hospitals, and that's another thing. Interior design can also consist of going to hospitals or working in hotels or like working in like somewhere like in a restaurant. And you also have to plan like the materials and usage of those materials well, and also pay for like furnishing and resources for that space. And also, one more thing you have to do typically is you have to know how to communicate to your team. So like you will be like hiring other people to have like to construct all these furnishings and materials with it. So what tasks do you usually associate with a job? So like I said, you're going to be hiring other people to do like some of the job for you. Not for you exactly, because you're going to be hiring like contractors and electricians and maybe even plumbing if you're working on a kitchen. Or if you're working on a hotel, typically you will have like very big spaces that you need to like work on. And let's say if you're like working in a hospital, you will have to like cater to what they need in emergencies. So make sure everything is okay and safe in case of emergency. So like everything is easier to get out. And also if to make a safer feeling environment, because a hospital is pretty like nerve-wracking place to be in. You will also be like ordering furniture and like the materials that you need for these like building and projects, and you have to plan these out and communicate with the team in order to figure out what you need to do. As well as technology develops, you will have to be like aware on how to use graphic design and softwares in order to construct your ideas into projects and communicate that with your team. So what background and training does it require? So basically what you need to like work on, well at first you need for talent basically is like you need to have a creative output, you need to have good design skills, and you have to have some sort of like experience with graphic design or image design, and above all, you need just creativity in general. And some other skills that apply as you go on with a job is like customer service, so you have to be able to communicate with your client in order to get the things you need. And some education that you will need, you don't need it exactly, but most likely you will need a bachelor degree with the classes that you want. Is main focus on interior designing, drawing, and computer-aided program, basically. So you need to be familiar with those softwares in order to like succeed. And its requirements, depending on the state, some licenses are required. Like it's very like specific, but like I said, there is also specialized versions, which I talked about, like hospitals and stuff. So there is a national council for like interior design. Sometimes they will have you test on certain subjects, well, the specialized subjects of those interior designs, like what I mentioned about hospitals and like hotels and stuff, just to make sure like you have the right knowledge in order to like navigate those areas safely and make sure it's very like creative in design and balanced as you want it. So what English skills are needed for the job? So this could also apply to other languages depending on who the client is. So it just like depends. But most of all, I think what you should know is how you can listen and understand your client on a human level, because first of all, you have to do it as a creative output, and like you have to like combine ideas, I guess, in order to like to make this project work, because sometimes not everything is going to work out. Like I said, everything has to be navigated safely. So if your client wants something, you have to explain to them like what is going to happen, and maybe some of these things are not going to work, and you have to stay like within your budget. So you're also going to need that verbal communication with teams too, in order to tell them like, hey, I want this done, or I want this done. And yeah. So what is the job pay? So typically, on the median level, interior designers are paid about 57K, and depending on how good you are, or like how like long you stay into the field, you can have a high up to like almost 100K, which is like around 97. And California wise, you can get up to like over 100K. But over here, we have like art and design workers and total of occupations, and basically what that is just like other forms of interior design when it comes into it, because like interior design is also like part of like art and design, so you have to take into account those jobs as well when it comes into it. So does the job pay on a living wage? Typically, living wage, yes, but like if you want to, I'm gonna take into account this is only just California, so yeah, just the premise, it's just California that I'm looking at here, and I got like 5 cities on here. So basically Los Angeles, you're not gonna like do all this stuff you want in Los Angeles, like realistically. So because like it's a very expensive place, and this just only shows our average market monthly rent, so which is around 1,000 for like just like one person, I believe. And as you get into like the bigger cities, it's just gonna get like up there, but this is only just for like monthly rent, and not including like stuff like other necessities such as like water or electricity. This is just like the average monthly rent. So to answer the question, it does provide a living wage in California, but you won't be able to do all the stuff you want. But most likely, if you stay long enough in the field, you'll probably do. So what are the areas in the world which this job is likely to be offered? So typically, you're gonna go anywhere where it's just like commerce, and there's gonna be anywhere that places that they need you, because this is focused on like, oh, can you get clients to hire you? So of course people are gonna come from everywhere asking to be hired. So, but typically you will be in populated areas such as like Los Angeles. Yeah, but you'll probably make some money here because there's a lot of places to go around, and you can work in a lot of specialized fields, like I said about the hospitals and hotels and stuff. But yeah, you'll work in restaurants, you'll work at like regular homes too. But basically large cities, anywhere that you could be hired, and all that specialized stuff. So what are the options for travel schedule and flexibility? Well, typically you'll need a flexible schedule since you are working with clients, and you need to often communicate to what you need to do. So a possibility is just like, maybe one day something comes up or something, and you need to also communicate with your team in order to figure out what you need to do in order to like finish your project. Another possibility is, as technology advances, you're going to be able to utilize your software like accordingly, and make sure you can communicate it with your team in order to get the project done, even though you're not directly there. So maybe as technology advances, you'll be able to work at home, which is pretty interesting. And since employment is like not doing well, it's not, I'm not sure to say that. I don't want to say that. It's just lowering right now, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because as time progresses, this can lead to more opportunities for the job. And like I said, as technology advances, you probably see more jobs that come into it. This could also help you travel to other places as well, not just for the job, but like for vacation as well, because like since you can basically work at home, you can just go on vacation and just communicate to these people as you know, utilize this technology in order to communicate to your team. So one projection that I have seen, like an interesting article I've seen, is AR interior design. And basically what it is, it's like self-explanatory picture. You can utilize any software and just see like whatever you want in the room. You can just add furnishing, and you can use like these 3D models in order to like navigate around these rooms. So this makes like learning and practicing skills more efficiency. So like what I said, when you're applying to this world, like when you're actually just learning in earning a bachelor degree, they'll probably use this they'll probably use these they'll probably use these features in the future, so you can like learn how to model all these furnishings and materials in order to go into it. And this could create more job opportunities for engineers, because like you can also utilize these 3D models, and they can also see like how to make these things and see if it makes it work along with like the wiring of the house or something. And you could practice at home with your own leisure, like I said, because it's like as technology advances, it's going to be. And that's the end of my presentation.